The only sunnah that the men actually talk about, or a lot of them talk about, is don't pretend like you don't know, guys. Subhanallah. Second wife, it's a sunnah. Wow. Second is a sunnah. What sunnah? Start off with these things. Correct, it is. I'm not denying it, but I'm saying you haven't even lived as a husband yet, and you want to start being a husband for more. You've messed up one's life, you're going to mess up all the others' lives. You have a father, he becomes a father-in-law. You have a son, he becomes a son-in-law. You have a daughter, she becomes a daughter-in-law. You have a mother, she becomes a mother-in-law. You have a wife, what does she become? She is the law. The only sunnah that the men actually talk about, or a lot of them talk about, is don't pretend like you don't know, guys. Subhanallah. Second wife, it's a sunnah. Wow. Second is a sunnah. What sunnah? Start off with these things. Correct, it is. I'm not denying it, but I'm saying you haven't even lived as a husband yet, and you want to start being a husband for more. You've messed up one's life, you're going to mess up all the others. So this man came in for salah and he's reading the Surah Al-Baqarah is being read, and at the end of the salah, you know, he looked at the man next to him, nudged him, he says, hey, this imam read very long. Which surah did he read? So he says it is called Surah Al-Baqarah, which means the cow, and it is the longest surah in the Quran. So he said, okay, now I must ask before I start my salah, which surah is being read? So Al-Baqarah was very, very long. So now he came for Salatul Maghrib, the poor fellow, and he started Allahu Akbar. So Imam finished Waladhalin, and he starts Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. So this man nudges the other one and says, you know what, before you start, what surah is this? He says, this is the elephant, Al-Fil. So that man says, if Baqarah was so long, I'm sure Fil must be even. One man, and this is also a story that I've heard very recently. His wife tells him, listen, you know what, you have to tell me, you have to swear that you're going to be honest with me. He says, okay, I'm honest. Describe your love for me. So the man says, he thinks for a moment and he says, you know what? You are like my SIM card, I'm like the phone, you know. Without you, I'm nothing. You know that. Wow. So the woman goes back so happy and delighted. Wow, I'm so happy. It's the sweetest, most romantic thing I've ever heard. Imagine, without a SIM card, what is a phone? How many of us have phones? No SIM card. Can you have a phone, no SIM card? You have a SIM card. So then he walks out, and as he's walking out, he said, and she's saying, wow, most romantic word I've ever heard. He says, she doesn't know my phone has a quad SIM. Allah protect us. What a dirty mind. What a dirty mind. But this is the problem with us today. We want to utter words that just soothe people's minds when we don't really mean them sometimes. Why would he have spoken about a dual SIM or a quad SIM if he was sincere? He wouldn't even have uttered that. If a child can't sleep, give him the phone, give her the little phone, iPad, whatever else, and you can listen to your movies and watch Donald Duck and watch Mickey Mouse. In fact, they don't even know who Donald Duck is. I asked a kid a few days ago, Donald Duck? He says, what's that? When I was little, Donald Duck used to feature quite strongly, you know. Today, only Allah knows what's going on. They have Ben 10, I think. Or 10 bin, subhanallah. They have angry birds, and I'm always surprised. Why are the birds angry? Why couldn't they just have had happy birds? Allahu Akbar. And the beauty is, subhanallah, they have Tom and Jerry, and I love to talk about these two because they're still going on. Do you know why they're going on? Have you ever seen Tom and Jerry really get along, and one comes with tea to the other, and one greets the other, and they're sitting and doing something? No, they are fighting. He spends his whole existence trying to do the other one down, and that's exactly what our children have learned. And when we grow up as adults, 30, 40, we are doing the same with everyone else. It's a competition. What you have, no ways, I'm not talking to you, you've got more than me. No, I will make sure you come down. And this is what's going on. We are Toms and... What am I looking forward to in Jannah? I can tell you something, I'm just looking forward to Jannah. Then I'll decide once I'm there what I want. The reason I say that is, I have a lot of people asking me more than 200-300 questions over the last few years. Will my cat be in Jannah with me? And I'm intrigued at the love that
the people who send these questions have for their cats. And I know the answer, but I can't break their hearts. So I have to tell them, the Almighty promises you, and He promised all of us, and this is a serious matter. He says, when you get to paradise, you will have whatever you want, how you want it, when you want it, in the way that makes you happy, without changing what you want, even by a speck. So I sit and I think, people have husbands they don't like, people have wives they don't want, people have animals, people have so much, and I think to myself, what's going to happen to them? They just need to know, please get there. Then you're going to see what's going to happen. You will be amazed. We are thinking with our little brains of humankind here, when you get there, you're going to have the super brain, which is totally perfect. You're going to have the existence that's blemishless. No Photoshop, it's real, you know. It's real. You don't have to try and change things. No makeup. It's actually fact. That's who you are. And if you want to be someone different while you're thinking, you're changing. If someone wants to see you different, they'll be seeing you different while you're seeing yourself different. I can't even explain. So then I tell them, you know what? Please just get to paradise first. Talk about your cat there. Brothers and sisters, it's a fact. When we say we want something in Jannah, this is what I'm going to do in Jannah. You know what? Forget about all of that. Just prepare for Jannah. Just make sure you are there. Once you're there, trust me, you'll never be let down. People say, if men get this, what am I going to get? I promise you, you're going to get better than men. You know, I always say, it's a question that a lot of people don't like, but I want to raise it, okay? They say, so the men are going to get women. So what are the women going to get? I say, they're going to get men. What else? What else? I mean, it's really so when you get there, I don't want to talk about the details. Please, let's get there. When we get there, we will definitely be the most pleased. So don't ask me, what do you want to do there? Please, I just want to get there. If I'm there, I'm a happy man. Inshallah, I see you guys.
Time, this happens as well.
قلت له طيب هل تذكر طوال التاريخ القديم أو اليوم أن عالما من علماء المسلمين تحول نصرانيا؟
Then I asked him that, okay, have you ever heard before or now, in the past or present, that one of the great scholars of Islam has left Islam and gone to another faith?
He said, no. Then I said, why?
قال لا فقلت لماذا؟ كيف ترجم؟ My brothers and sisters, I have something very funny to share with you today, subhanallah. Although it's a serious matter. So there's this sister in a country I'm not going to mention. For Eid, she purchases live chickens, 50 live chickens, to feed the family and whoever else there was. They were going to have a huge party. And so she asked one guy, do you know how to slaughter these halal? He says, yes. So this guy starts slaughtering them. And a little while later, she thinks to herself, wow, he's so quick. He's cutting it so fast. Let me go and see how he's slaughtering. Guess what? He was slaughtering every chicken. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Can you believe it? That's not halal. He's supposed to have said Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, in the name of Allah, and Allah is the greatest. You don't just go around saying Salam alaikum and eating your food. May Allah forgive us. Wasn't that funny? I found it hilarious actually. And she was so upset because 25 chickens wasted. May Allah forgive us. Brothers and sisters, remember to eat that which is halal, clean and pure. Tayyib. I'm talking about impatience and how it is. Something comes to my mind. Subhanallah. Something comes to my mind. A man, his surname was Singh. Okay? His surname was Singh. It's a common surname. Singh. So, he was resting in a park. So, because when you rest on the bench in a park, what happens is you take up more than one space, you know. So one person came to him and told him, are you relaxing? Now he thought, this man is asking me, is your name Relax and your surname Singh? You know, are you relaxing? He says, no sir, I am Dilip Singh. And here comes another man. He says, are you relaxing? Within a minute, another man, are you relaxing? He says, no sir, I am Dilip Singh. And a third man, are you relaxing? He says, no sir, I am Dilip Singh. So he decided, like I told you, no patience. He got up and he walked away. So he walked right to the other side of the park and he saw another man. He saw another man lying down. And he said, this might be the one. So he tells him, Are you relaxing? He says, yes. He says, they're looking for you on the other side. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In India, where there was an imam who something of this nature happened to him and they really harassed him. Apparently this is supposed to be a true story. You know, some people want to know, is it true, is it not true? It's not just an example, it's a true story. They say this imam, he was so upset that he told them, you know what, you people are hassling me so much, harassing me. One day I'll leave you in sujood and I'll disappear. And so they thought it was a joke. This foolish imam actually did it. When he went in sajda and he prolonged the first one. So when he prolonged the first one and he came up from it after a long time, people thought, okay, this man has got a long sajda today. He went in for the next one. When he noticed everyone is down, he went out of the trap door in the front of the mihrab and he was gone. So be careful. If we treat our imams in such a way, and I know we are speaking to many nationalities here this evening, but wherever you are from, and no matter who you mix with, the imam, you need to treat him thoroughly and properly. He lights a lot of candles, you need to know this. And it's not easy. Don't blow. One day, may Allah grant this man Jannah, he passed away, one of the imams in one of the masajid back at home in South Africa. The imam was slightly late for Salatul Fajr. Slightly late, a few minutes. Now you know what happens with the imams. Normally you have the people behind, they roll, hey, you late, you late. He got up, he said, brothers, don't pick on me. I was engaged in another act of worship. He says, I've come from ibadah to ibadah. It's a fact. And you know what? Those who understood knew what he was saying. And he said it. And nobody dared say a word. From that day, he was the hero of all the youngsters. They said, the man is old, but he's not cold. May Allah grant us each. Once I was sitting on an aircraft, and I have a lot of time on an airplane, and I had an atheist sitting next to me, and we were talking about faith, and he said, you guys are very bad. The Muslims, I said, no, you get good and bad in every faith. He said, not Islam. I'm saying, what do you mean? He said, Islam, everyone's bad. You believe in Quran? I said, yeah, Quran, we believe in Quran. He says, this Quran, it's got bad things in it. I said, what? He says, you know, it says that anyone who's not a Muslim is going to hellfire. That is very bad. You guys are filled with hatred. I said, brother, you don't believe in hellfire. Why are you worried? That's the irony. Atheist, he doesn't believe in the hereafter. And he's telling me we are bad because we believe everyone's going to hell. I said, by the way, the Christians believe the same, the Jews believe the same, the Hindus believe the same, and most other faiths believe the same. What about them? He said, no, but they don't have a Quran. I said, okay, this is a bigot. This is a person who really doesn't know. He is so uneducated. He hasn't mixed. I learned more about other faiths and inclinations and different types of people when I traveled the world. Subhanallah. To know what's going on. And I'm sure many of you do. If I know, then I'm sure a lot of us here do. The amount of effort that our boys and girls and adults are putting into learning moves of your foot and your hands and your head and the movement of your body just for TikTok. The amount of effort that is being made to learn those moves in order to create a 30-second clips. You need 1% of the effort in order to become the most powerful reciter of Quran in the whole world. Did you hear what I just said? And I'm not joking. If you know anyone of your relatives or you or anyone else who makes an effort to shake your body and to learn the moves of your legs according to a certain sound of those who can believe they can fly and whatever else, you must remember one thing. That effort, you only need 1% of it to be one of the top reciters in the whole world of the Quran. Because the Quran is different from all of that. With the Quran, when you come towards it, it will come towards you even faster. When you make an effort towards the word of Allah, it will make an effort towards you. Do you know why? Because that's Allah's kalam. That's Allah's word. And Allah tells us, if you want to come towards me, I'll rush towards you. You come towards me afoot, I come towards you more. You come towards me walking, I come towards you rushing. That's Allah. Make an effort with it. Imagine the amount of effort. And I promise you, whenever I hear of it or even see it in passing, I tell myself, oh Allah, guide this ummah and guide all of us to channel our efforts in the right direction. Every day we create videos to put on TikTok and to put on here in order to let people look at something, and in order for it to be liked and viewed in a way that it's negative. I think we can do the positive ones, inshallah. All of us. You can use your social media in order to earn paradise, not in order to go the other. I went to one country. May Allah grant us forgiveness. I went to one country and someone invited me to a wedding. Some of you will know this because it's the culture in some countries. And as I was entering the venue, there is a man sitting outside with a book. And he tells you, Sheikh, he asked me a question. Can I write your name? I said, no, thank you. And he just looked at me, he gave me such a dirty look. I didn't know what is the issue, because I was unaware of the culture. Sheikh, you want to write your name? I said, no, I really, it's okay. I don't need to write my name. And I went in. And I went in and I had the meal and everything. When I came out, the same man asked me, Sheikh, did you enjoy the meal? I said, hey, mashallah, it was very nice. He said, so would you like to write your name? I said, no, thank you. He looked at me and he said, but, I said, what's the problem? He said, everyone is writing. I said, what are they writing? He says, you have to write your name. So I said, okay, so write it. He said, so how much are you giving? Wallahi, I'm not joking. I was shocked because I was new to the culture. I guarantee you, some of you know what I'm talking about. I guarantee you. So he said, okay, all right. I said, what do you mean? He said, you have to pay. You have to come. He said, you think we invited you for free? What? First time coming across this culture, you know? And then he wrote my name and I'm looking that they said so much. I won't say the currency because you know where it was. He said so much. I said, oh, he said, you know what? You are from abroad. You're from outside. We're expecting something better from you. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And you know what? It so happened that that moment I did not have cash in my hand. And I was so embarrassed. I told him, you know what? I can write, but I will have to send it to you. He said, don't make excuses, Sheikh. People respect you. I said, no. So then I had to talk to him, to engage him, for him to believe me. And this is a true story. The man, he then tells me, he said, you know what, let me explain. I said, can you tell me the culture? I need to understand this. He said, look, when we invite people, as they're coming in, they give towards the expenses or the bride, the groom, whatever it is, right? And they write their name and amount, and they give the amount. So we gather the amount and so on, and you know, it's considered a gift. And if you haven't given on your way in, you give on your way out. And normally, when you have a good meal, you can write your name twice, which means going in, you wrote something, and you had such a nice meal. When you came out, you said, mashallah, excellent, write my name again, I give you something more. So he says, then what happens? The day there is a wedding in your family, even if it is 10, 20 years later, we take the book out. And we see what you gave when it came to our family. Wallahi, I'm not joking. And then we give a similar amount or something equivalent. And I said, Wallahi, this is the furthest away that I know from Islam. It defeats the purpose of the walima. It defeats the purpose of brotherhood. And Wallahi, my brothers and sisters, I am using this platform to say, stop it. Stop it. Don't do that. It's wrong. You want money? Collect donations. Don't have such a big wedding. What's the big deal? If you cannot afford it, have something simple. Simple. And even if you can afford it, you can invite the whole world, but keep it simple. There is a difference between big and small and simple and complicated. So if you have a simple wedding, even if it is very big, no harm. But if you have something that goes beyond the limits of Allah, even if it is a small wedding, it's wrong. And this type of culture that we have clung to in some areas, wallahi, I found this later on, even in the UK, some of the people of a similar background were doing the same thing. They have a hall, they invite you and they have a man with a book. It's just as well that now I know what the book is all about. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefit us. We have a book of deeds that we are worried about. They have a book of money that they're worried about. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness. Another thing on a lighter note, where as I was coming, I saw them saying, there was a sign there saying, one chai, or chai one, I don't know, which one was it? Chai one. No, I think where we're staying is a place called one chai. So I was looking forward, because I know in the Indian language, chai means tea, right? I said they'll offer me a nice cup of tea there, subhanallah. And today when I was coming back, it was the other way around. It was chai one, meaning you left your tea at the back and now you're going somewhere else. Subhanallah. So I looked at the brother, I said, hey, Is this okay? He said, no, it's just a different place. They swap it. So I said, okay. So I'm sure if this place is Hong Kong, there must be a place called Kong Hong. And he says, yes, there is. And I started laughing. I said, I was just joking. He said, no, there is a place called Kong Hong. It's a little area here. It's a little area. It's not a city or anything. Small area, they call it Kong Hong. So Allah make it easy. Now I learned that, Ismail Mink is someone and Mink Ismail will be someone else. Allahu Akbar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all